What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim back with some Gears of War 4 news for you guys today. Happy Sunday. Social Quick Play is now crossplay. That means that the PC Master Race will now fare up against the Xbots of the world. In social quick play matches only, this will not affect ranked gameplay. You guys may recall I did a video some time ago where I talked about the concerns of mixing the two. If you guys recall, the Coalition did a sample event where they took just one weekend and they said, okay, we're going to try it out. Now the results are in, and TC Octus has posted on the official Gears of War forum talking all about it. I'm going to highlight a few of the facts that he had, and then I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts on how everything played out. There were over 750,000 matches played, in which there were over 115,000 unique participants. 91% of these participants were on the Xbox One, with only a 9% participant rate on the PC. There were an average of 6.2 matches played on the Xbox, with an 11.2 matches per game for Windows 10 users. Now, what does that all mean? Well, first of all, that means not a lot of people are playing Gears of War 4 if they only had 115,000 unique participants. That does seem a little bit low, but there are a lot of games out there, and most of us are probably playing Halo 5, so that's okay. What it tells you, though, is that the PC players are very desperate to play games, obviously with a 2-to-1 ratio over those on the Xbox One. And it's kind of makes sense, if you really think that there's only 9% of these participants. That's less than 10,000 of them are currently on the computer. So they were dying to get their hands on anything to play. I recall how Titanfall was towards the end, how low the attrition numbers were, how it was impossible to find a match. These numbers seem to imply to me that this is the exact same thing that was happening on the computer version of Gears of War 4. So PC guys are very, very excited. They're going to finally get to play at least some social quick play, non-ranked matches against their console brethren. And they're talking about how they looked through the extensive data, and they think that it was a success. Now, obviously, the vocal minority here being the computer users, they're all for it. I don't mind as long as it's not competitive. There are a lot of things you can do in a mouse and a keyboard that you cannot do with a controller. And I'm talking about things like DPI and sensitivity and how you can map different buttons to your mouse, where you're kind of limited on what you can do inside the Windows console. Or, I'm sorry, the Xbox One console. Also keep in mind that there's a lot of things you could do on the back end of the game. There's macros you could create that you could run. Now, this doesn't indicate whether or not there was any sort of like punk buster or any sort of anti-cheating devices enabled to scan this, but it's very easy to work your way around these things with built-in macros, with built-in pre-button sets that maybe always get you a perfect reload or lets you toggle between grenades much faster than a Xbox One user, where you'd have to lift your left thumb off the control stick and go over and hit maybe D-pad up for a weapon, as opposed to just a quick press of a key on the computer version. And again, even if these settings are not inside the actual Gears of War 4 executable, it's very easy to add other things on at the end. So you'd have to eliminate the competitive play just for that. But it was very clear, because I did participate in that event, that the computer users were very, very leaning much more towards like long shots and lancers at a range, because it's a lot easier to focus in on a target with a mouse than it is with the controller, even though the controller does have a lot of settings and such that really try to help you kind of snap aim, and like as you're aiming across, it's faster, and then it like glues to a target when you slow down. You'll never be able to beat somebody on a keyboard and a mouse. They don't talk about those specific numbers in the study. I kind of wish that they did, but the fact is it does exist, and I think it's a success. And I do hope that they continue this. There's really no reason why, at least inside of an ecosystem such as the Xbox world or PC world, PlayStation world or whatever, where you're logging into their servers, I don't see any reason why you can't have crossplay. And I think this is a good thing. I think it's going to get more people interested in the game that maybe weren't on the computer side, which is fine by me. I have a lot of friends who are PC master racers who are not interested in anything console. This may be the gateway into it. And it was really a good success, a really good test in this sense. I'm very curious to see how this translates into future Xbox One exclusive games. I know Crackdown is coming at some point. Halo 6 is going to probably be the one that really defines it. I wonder if you're going to start to see more teams go pro that are computer users, or if they're going to open up another branch of the esports league just for computer players of console traditional games. And I think that's something that's very interesting to watch in the near future. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Get out there, play some Gears of War 4, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.